Okay, just want to have a little chat. Tom, man. They're not going to stop saying that. Everybody knows you anyway with that Scottish hat. Okay, the Action for Democracy.
Democracy for New Brunswick.
Never mind this news conference at the library. When is the next one supposed to be?
In April 27th.
April 27th, is it? Okay,
Yep.
so let's have a little update now. How are you happy, or are you happy the way things are going with David Howard?
Well, you know, the on the matter of the MLAs engaging the public, we've asked all the MLAs to give examples of what they're doing in order to not lose contact with
Craig Leonard had a town hall meeting last week.
Craig Leonard had a town hall meeting. There's going to be one in Gagetown this Wednesday. I'm now getting emails. We're getting emails from MLAs across the province. I've been invited out to Mr. Urquhart's meeting that's coming up soon. I mean, and what has to happen is that the public have to go, not just the Tory supporters, but the people who voted for the other parties need to go to those meetings because those MLAs represent them as well.
And they know that. I seen Pam. What's her name? Pam Lynch.
Pam Lynch. Yes.
And I told her yesterday. She said, "Well, I don't think really. I don't want to believe that what you're saying." What I said was, you know, you didn't get elected because of you. You got elected because of Sean Graham. But now they're there.
To get re-elected, it will be because of them.
And it will exactly. Yeah. And okay, so the PC party is doing good.
Well, they're
open.
You know what I like to put it in this context. 7 months ago, they were campaigning. 8 months ago, many of these MLAs didn't know they were going to be politicians now. So there's a learning curve, and you know, we have to be, as citizens, be prepared to help them understand how we want to be governed, how we want to be talked to, when we want to talk to them, and that's what the baseline of democracy is. And we said all through the campaign last year is that we simply can't sit back and criticize the politicians. You know, in order for this province to work, all the citizens have to be involved. And like the budget, we're not going to get everything that we want because we're not unified either.
Exactly. So getting involved, get the citizen involved. What's your views of the NDP? What happened there?
Oh, well, you know, each party has their own operations. You know,
that operation wasn't true. A lot of people are upset about that. That's not open.
Yeah, well, then the NDP members should be talking to NDP members about that. You know, the fact is that we want to have a voice in this building right here. And 10% of New Brunswickers voted for the NDP last election, and they don't have a voice.
Electoral reform.
And that's where we're headed. You know, we're underway with doing the groundwork now. We're beginning to reach out to other provinces where this issue has been fought. We're in contact with people from New Zealand where they're having a referendum in November.
I think David Alward's going to pass that.
Well, you know, I
think he is.
I think he needs to feel a groundswell of support for that, you know, from the public, and we've got a public education on it that's required, so that people get out of this. Well, my grandfather voted liberal, so I'm going to vote liberal.
Those days are gone.
Well, I think people need to have good information. And if they don't have good information, that's the purpose of these meetings. You know, if someone tells us on the front page of their newspaper what we should think about someone, you know, I suggest to people ask 2 questions. And whose opinion is that? And what's the alternative to that opinion? And then, geez, you can come up with a whole lot of things rather than just saying it's true because they told me. We got to stop thinking that way.
In a democratic system, don't you feel sorry for the Liberals every time they open their mouth to critique the government? People, New Brunswickers get flashback.
Well, I don't know if it's so much sympathy. I hope the Liberal Liberal MLAs have learned something from this as well, and the Democracy for New Brunswick will be engaging them as well on the issue of meeting with the public. We got to. This isn't partisan. Everyone's got to be involved.
Guess who came and talked to me during the budget, the day of the budget? What's his name again? Chris Austin, Alliance.
Yes. Yeah.
I said, my God, you people are still around. I forgot about you. 0% in the poll. But again, how many percent of the percentage of the vote did they get?
Very small.
Very small.
Very small.
Okay.
The NDP, the Green, and the coalition of New Brunswickers in total were 17%.
And the Green Party, that's they're still.
Yeah, they're as far as I know, they're still in operation, and that's good because they're engaging and they're shaking, the roots of New Brunswickers thinking, and that's what we need. We got to get out of the old way of thinking.
Final note: prediction, federal election. Do you care? I don't.
Yeah, isn't that sad? That
I don't know who the ministers are. I used to know federal politics, but since Stephen Harper told them to keep their mouths shut, I don't know. I know Keith Ashfield.
Well, I think we should have a democracy for Canada, and with organizations trying to close the gap between the elected MPs and the citizens, because a lot of people feel that Ottawa is irrelevant, in terms of their day-to-day life, and the fact of the matter is, it's not irrelevant. We send a lot of our tax dollars up to Ottawa. They send it back to us in transfer payments, and they're trying to cut that tap off. It's our money, and the purpose of that money is so that we have a quality of life here in this province. It's the same across the country.
I hardly blog federal issues. I'm not interested.
Yeah, it's.
That's sad.
Yeah, well, there'll be some interest here, hopefully, in the election, and the issues are the economy. Just like here, the environment, military defense, which is always an issue worth discussing.
Quick prediction. Sorry about that. Yeah. The pension. Now, is he going to do something about it?
Well, they're committed here. The Premier committed back in the election campaign that the private.
He said the severance. The private study won't be. They won't go by their. Yeah.
They'll live by those recommendations.
But would you see a lot of MLAs? Would they give them a chance? Say, okay, boys, we're passing this bill. If you want to bail out first, so you can collect the pension, bail out now.
Well,
I see a lot of by-elections.
I think it's up to each and every one of us to hold political parties' feet to the fire on their promises. That's a high-profile promise. That'd be very difficult. And I think in the budget comments, the Minister Higgs said, they're going to abide by that.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
And always a pleasure, Charles.